Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live Trading Thursday. My name is David Verbruggen. I'm going to be your host today. I am excited to be with you once again. We're going to be looking at this market, which has decided to make at least a short-term turn to the upside. So we're going to be looking at that. Let me real quick take a look. Got this red note up here saying, watch out for something. So okay, well, we're going to pretend that wasn't there, and we're going to keep rolling. So, guys, you guys know that what we're doing here. So go ahead and throw those tickers in the comment box. Both Facebook and YouTube should have those. So go ahead and throw those in there. We'd love to look at some of those tickers with you. Keep in mind that all these examples we're going to be looking at today in this live trading session should be viewed for educational purposes only and not taken as trading or investment advice. All right, guys. To get started here, while I wait for some tickers, we're going to go through a couple things in Charts by Tradeway just to kind of help us find some tickers, right? I actually didn't prepare any tickers for today. Kind of did that on purpose because I want to show you it doesn't take a whole lot of homework to be able to go look and find trades. You should do some homework, but I want to actually show you how easily this can be done. So, but still, feel free to throw those tickers in there because anything you throw in there, we're going to look at today in the next 15, 20 minutes, just like we normally do. Let's start off. I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. We're going to start off by looking at the overall market. Here we got the S&P. You know, we've been in an overall downtrend. Short term, we've been in a downtrend as well, but here's that turn I was telling you about. Turned around and we headed up a little bit and broke this downtrending resistance line and then started moving up. So we kind of have, got this low, got this high that actually broke this downtrend. We came and made a higher low and now a higher high, which was higher than the previous high, and starting to pull back a little bit. So the question is, was that it? Are we going to, continue moving down, or do we start moving up again? Do we bounce up off the 5 or the 10 or maybe this 50? Look at that 50 right there. Let's zoom in on that. This is some good stuff. Maybe that 50-day is going to hold as some short-term support and start moving up from there. So that'll be interesting to see as well. We could even take a line. Let's do that. Let's throw a line on here and see. Now, if that 50-day holds, we could just be in for some sideways movement before we move up. Maybe the 50 days doesn't hold when we come back down to the 10 or so and bounce, and that might work up with this line. This line right here is not a confirmed trend, right? We only have 2 touches, 1 and 2. But if we get a bounce off that line a third time, then we would have a confirmed trend right there. So definitely things to be watching for. But it looks like we could be looking at some shorter term bullish trades in the meantime. How far up could this thing go? There really is no telling, right? I mean, we don't know the future. It got close to this 100-day simple moving average and then moved back down. But before, the last sizable bullish move in this bear market, it got all the way up to the 200. Just beautifully kissed it right there. You see that? Right in this right area. That was nice. So if we do that, we could be moving right back up here to maybe as close as the 4,100 level. And then I would suspect that we start moving down again, unless the bear market is over, which is doubtful in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that we can't take advantage of some shorter term bullish moves. So let's go ahead and do that. You guys throw your tickers in there as you get them. We're going to be looking at those as well. But in the meantime, we're going to look at a couple different ways that we can find bullish trades. First, what I'm going to do, I want to just quickly create a watch list. Let's create a watch list and let's call it uptrends. I'm showing this to you guys so that you guys kind of see the flow as well. Now, every watch list needs to have a ticker to anchor to. Me personally, I just like to throw SPX in there. That's kind of my default anchoring ticker. It's going to go in every single watch list I have. So create that. Boom. Who we got? Uptrends.spx. Good to go. Now, I've shown you guys this way before, right? We've gone here to the sector chart and you've got the heat map, and we could look at, say, the last let's go look at the last month. And wow, energy once again, just blowing it out of the water. Crazy move. In the last month, 29%. I knew it was good. I forgotten it was that good. That is intense. But they're not the only one. Basic materials, industrials, financial, everything is actually up. There's not anything right now that's down in the last month. Last week is also going to look really good. I saw that communication services was kind of getting hammered the last couple of days. So that's interesting. But everything else moving up strongly, which is, shown by the S&P as well. But we've done this way before. We've looked at it this way before. I want to show you guys another way that we can easily find some takers for to the upside. So come up here to the find section. We're going to look at scans. And there are a bunch of scans in here. Honestly, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I want to take you through what is my favorite way and one of the easiest ways to just find some charts to look to work with. I like to look at the outlook right here. If you click on outlook, it's very simply laid out. Bullish, bear, maybe something that's stagnant if you're doing a neutral trade, or volatile. Okay. We're looking for uptrends, so we're looking at bullish. So I'm going to click on bullish, and you see all these that pop up here. Again, there's a lot. It can be overwhelming. Which one do I choose? Let's keep it simple. We're looking for chart pattern rising channel. Okay, that's like the platform's language for just simply saying uptrend. So we're going to click on uptrend. And here we go. We have all of these that just by the math that the platform does, it either is or very recently has been in a nice uptrend. Now, again, computers aren't humans, right? They're going to do all their math and they're going to give you a basket. And it's still our job as the trader to go in there and determine what is actually a pretty pattern, right? That's a little bit subjective, but that's okay, because what is pretty to me might not be pretty to someone else, and that's okay as well. But the computer is just going to do its straight math and give us what it gives us. So let's say I want to put all these in my uptrending watch list and then move forward with that. So we're going to click the checkbox button. I can click this checkbox next to the symbol, and it's going to highlight all of them. Let's just move them all to that watch list. This button right here, sideways arrow, send symbols to selected watch list, and I'm going to choose uptrends. There we go. They've all been added. Now I don't even have to go back to the watch list anymore, because remember, I can pull up the watch list next to the chart. So we're going to do that. We're going to come to the chart, uptrends. Here's all of those. What was it, 14 tickers or something like that? We're going to look at all these guys. Let's start with LLY. Do we like this? Do we not like this? You can see it's actually as a bit of a roll happening right there. Kind of got out of its, could throw another line on here. Right around there, and the nice breakout and the move up. Couple things I'm seeing, right? Earnings. Remember, we're still in earnings season. I think I missed mentioning that earlier, but we're still in earnings season, maybe towards the tail end of it. But, LLY, Eli Lilly right here, they're reporting earnings next week. So can I really do anything with that right now? It's going to be tough. Look where it is. This is not a great, it is uptrending, that's for sure. The system nailed it, but it is way extended. This is not at a good buy point. Remember, the system's going to tell us uptrends, but not necessarily buy points. So this one, I'm just going to cancel off my list because it's going to be hard to do something with that. ABBV, this is the next one. Look at that. Earnings actually tomorrow. So that's already just right there. We're canceling it. We're not canceling, but we're going to take this off the watch list. Plus, it's not at a good buy point right now as well. AMGN, same story. Look at this. It definitely has been moving up a lot. It's pretty aggressive moves up right there. The same story. Guys, you might get through an entire watch list and have all of them knocked off. Like, you might get to a point where you say, actually, none of these are tradable right now. And that's okay. That just means that we have to do one of the hardest things as traders, and be patient. That's not easy to do, but it is absolutely necessary to learn. If you can't be patient as a trader, you won't make it as a trader, period. That's all there's to it. Patience is a position. You've heard Jared say that before. You've heard Blair say that before, and the others as well. Patience is a position. So in that matter, even if you get to a point where you've exhausted all the options that you see, you just don't see any good trades right there, you are still being a trader by being patient and staying out of the market. See that? You're still being a trader by not trading. Kind of interesting. We could go a long ways and very deep into that, but we'll kind of save that one for another time. But here we go. AMGN. That one's coming off the list. ELV. Okay. Earnings is behind us. All right. Earnings is behind us. So that's nice. This thing has shot up. It moved up quite a bit. We need this thing to pull back some. But we're going to leave it on the list because if it pulls back and then maybe produces a bounce off the 10 EMA or the 20 EMA, or maybe something, let's see this line. If it pulls back towards that line and puts in a bounce, I'd have to pull back quite a bit for that, honestly. These moves up in the last week have been incredible. We're just going to leave this one on the list, though, because earnings is behind us. It could be just a few days out from a buy point. It might be an aggressive buy point, but we're going to leave it on the list for now. SAP, let's take a look at that. Earnings behind us again, so that is nice as well. Guys, this right here, it may not look like a pattern, but I'm telling you right now, we teach some strategies. This one in particular, of what I'm thinking is called the power spread, and I can't get all into the entire strategy right now, but I'm telling you, looking at something like this, it doesn't mean that it's just being nixed. We can work with this. You just have to know the tools and know the strategies. So the more tools in your toolbox, the more you can trade, right? This is one of those cases as well. So I might send this one to a different watch list. I might even have, here we go, power spreads. I'll just send that there. Look at that later, maybe. But for now, I'll take it off the uptrending list as it's moved up, but it's not forming a pretty uptrend necessarily. There it is. VRTX. Okay, wow. Big move down. What is going on? Well, guess what? It's earnings today. Today it's earnings. Other than that, it's actually looking pretty nice. Look at that. The 100 simple right there. Might even be holding right there. I'm going to leave this on the watch list. Earnings is today. Give it a couple days. Let's see if it can maybe produce a bounce up off the 100 simple. We can throw a line on here as well, although frankly, I don't think this line's going to be the prettiest. I might just take it off. Yeah, the line in this case is not going to be the prettiest. Really what I'm looking at for support right now on this chart is going to be the 100 simple moving average. So take a look at that. But I'll leave this one on the list here because that could be something for the future. Also, all greens. That's kind of cool. Don't see that all too often. Here we go. Here's another one that we looked at, or similar to the ones that we looked at before. HUM is going to be nixed right now. We've got earnings in just a couple days, and it's really not at a good buy point. Again, guys, if you have any tickers you want to look at, throw those in the comment box, and we'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we're just going to keep rolling with showing just a nice, quick, easy way, a workflow process as a trader, how you can just go ahead and get through a watch list. And that way you have a smaller list that you can really be honing in on and watching for trades. Here we go. So this is one we've got earnings behind us. That's nice. It's been moving up and down. It's almost, I want to zoom out on this a little bit here. You can see how it was downtrending actually. And then we've kind of broken that, started to move up. All right, let's take a look at this line right here. See how that was resistance here, resistance again, and then it came in. The stock made it above that, turned it into support, and bounced up. Now, that could have been an aggressive entry yesterday. One could maybe still look at that as an entry today, although that is a bit late on it, frankly, and is also aggressive. But it wouldn't be wrong if someone wanted to try to, put a credit spread on here, or maybe a debit spread. I think I would personally want to wait and see this thing develop a little bit more. So we'll leave it on the list, but it's not something I would want to do right now. PCAR got earnings behind us, starting to form an uptrend. We'll throw a line on here. Would love to see this thing pull back a little bit. But if it can pull back a little bit, maybe produce another bounce off the 10 EMA, that could be something to look at. I'll leave it on the list. Ooh, ZI. So this one has been making these higher lows, but also lower highs. So not the prettiest of uptrends. In fact, I know the computer has its formulas. I wouldn't call this one an uptrend. Strictly by the definition. It might be looking at these lows right here and then just getting higher. So there is that. Earnings is coming up pretty soon here, though. That's almost more of a pennant wedge happening. And look at that. At earnings, this has the potential to be explosive. Okay? But we don't know which direction. That's why we got to wait on this one. So we're going to take that one off the list. DV. Ooh, now that is... that's some pretty price action right there. That's just been moving up nicely. Good looking uptrend. Do have earnings. It's still a little bit over a week though, right? So I'll leave it on the list. Maybe after earnings, something longer term could be done with this. Potentially before earnings, something very short term could be done with this. TWNK. Just got a few more and then we're going to, okay, there we go. That's a nice uptrend too. Using the 50-day as support recently here. Throw a line on there. There we go. Earnings again coming up in just a few days, but I like the way the pattern looks enough that I'm going to leave it on this watch list and see if it can come back down after earnings and produce a bounce, because there could be opportunities there. SARK. Ooh, look at this. Okay, this was at an uptrend. You can see, I don't even remember when I put this line on there, but that line, that was a nice line up until Tuesday when it broke down through that line. Looked like it might have had a chance yesterday as it held above the 50, but then today we're below that. So this is one that's coming off the list for now. This one, it was in a nice uptrend. But I bet in the next few days, the computer even will take it off that scan for rising channel, which, oh man, I forgot to say something on that one. Let's look at that again real quick. SARK. What is this right here, right? See that? We're forming an M right there. That's an M pattern, even with a slightly higher or lower high than previously. And this, it could be in the makings of kind of a kiss goodbye action going on there. So, all right, back to our uptrends watch list. And the last one we're going to look at is TSLQ. And this is a brand new stock. Look at that. I have it set on 6 months. Data only goes back to mid-July. So we only have, 2.5 months to work with. So they IPO'd not long ago. This is also an ETF. I don't know much about it. Oh, it has a Tesla Bear ETF. Interesting. I'm going to have to do some research on this one. I don't know anything about this one yet. M pattern forming there as well. Actually, lately that's looked pretty similar to that last one that we looked at. There might be some correlation there. I'd have to look at that again. But again, this is one of those where this one's not the prettiest uptrend. It's so new as well, right? You got to be careful with tickers or stocks that are brand new. You got to wait and let them form solid patterns first. But I see an M right here breaking down below this support line right here. It is above that now a little bit, but it definitely opened below that today. So I would not be surprised if this continues down a little bit. So that one's coming off the list. But there you go. We just whittled that whole watch list down from 14 down to 6. 6 that can be looked at and potentially tradable in the next 5 or I was going to say 5 days, 1 to 2 weeks. About the next 1 to 2 weeks, some of these might be tradable as long as the S&P holds up and continues moving up. So it's kind of dependent on that. If the S&P rolls around, I bet most, if not all of these guys might roll around as well. All right, so quiet group today, but you know what? That's okay. I see there's several on watching, so I appreciate that. Hope you learned something. You know, we're always going to be looking at trades, but also looking at ways that we can use the platform better to our advantage to help us out as traders. One thing I want to let you guys know about, we've got a topical workshop coming up next week. No, the week after next week. It's going to be November 8th. And it is a topical workshop titled 5 Habits of Successful Traders. I'm going to throw that in the comment box right there. It is a free, saying error. Okay, well, I'm not sure if you guys are getting that comment right now. If you want that link, if you're not seeing that link and you want that link to the free topical workshop, then go ahead and email support@tradeway.com. We'll absolutely hook you up with that link. I'm excited. I get the privilege of teaching that topical workshop on that Tuesday, the 8th. So I'm looking forward to that, being with you guys there. And of course, we'll see you guys next week for Live Trading Thursday. Thanks, guys.